Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Parshas Pikudei from Chamishi to Shishi, as well as some brief thoughts on Megillas Esther that will be read in just a mere few weeks. So in Chamishi, in Perik Mem, Pasuk Beis, we have the establishment of the Chanukas HaMishkan. The Mishkan is established, and according to Reb Sham Rafal Hirsch, it's no coincidence that this was exactly 1 year after it says Chodesh Hashem Rosh Chodesh on the month of Nisan, and that is the month that the Mishkan was established. So the Indian, the topic of the new moon being significant is not because it's astrological, but because the lesson we learn from the new moon, that every month is a waxing and the waning, that we see things in completeness and then they disappear for the moons. We also see that in our personal and communal life. There are times where we feel that a close connection to Hashem, we can see His providence, and other times we feel more distance, that we don't see Hashem's benevolence. But the Mishkan is telling us to give us chizuk, that you have to remember that there are cycles in life, and that Hashem is giving His presence with us, as is the Mishkan is where Hashem has His Shekhinah, and that we should remember that Hashem is always with us, even as times and closeness to Hashem wax and wane. And speaking of things being hidden, well, that's the Megillas Esther. So I'd like to start with some thoughts from the Vilna Gaon and the question on Perik Aleph Pasuk Beis. So the Pasuk there says that Achashverosh Vayama Mahim Keshevetz HaMelech Achashverosh Al Kisei Malchuso. It was those days when Achashverosh was sitting on his throne, and it says also that it was in the capital. So, well, why would it be any surprise that the king is on his throne in his capital? What is the point of this pasuk? So, Vilna Gaon answers that the story behind it is that Shlomo Melech had built an amazing throne, and when Paro Necho of Mitzrayim captured it and he tried to sit on that seat, the lions that were part of the seat struck him and he fell down, and he didn't try it again. However, now as Achashverosh, who was actually just a mere stable boy who guarded the horses, he wanted to show how great he was as a king, and so he wanted to make an imitation of this without the kedusha, and therefore without the risk of being struck down, but he wanted to have this throne made, and it would be gigantic and show what an amazing ruler he is. So the only people who had the skills to do this were the professionals in this small little city called Shushan. And after 3 years of making it, they found that it was too big to move. They couldn't get it to the original capital. And then Hashem put a ruach shtus, he put in some insanity into his mind. The Achashverosh decided, all right, we're moving the capital to the chair. And that's where the new capital was, which was very convenient for our story, because who was in Shushan? None other than Mordechai. So therefore, Achashverosh moved the capital to Shushan and sat on the throne there, and not where it originally was. And that's the story why the pasuk is telling us that Achashverosh sat on his throne in the capital Shushan. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful week and a wonderful Shabbos. Don't forget to share and like us on Facebook, and tell your friends about the short Vort.